Global TV News Express. President Tinubu urges Africans on unity and dignity. In business, Nigeria moves to overcome hurdle in regional trade integration. And on the foreign scene, Iran president signs law suspending cooperation with International Atomic Energy Agency. In sports,
of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission, those in favor say aye. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Uchenna Eugene Okolocha, representing the South-South region, is hereby confirmed as Commissioner of the Nigerian Law Reform Commission.
Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Former President of the Senate, David Mark, has tendered his resignation from the People's Democratic Party, that is PDP. Mark, a founding member of the PDP, resigned from the party following his appointment as one of the interim leaders of the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress, that is ADC. Announcing his resignation, the former Senate President, in a statement dated June 27 and signed by him, cited the leadership crisis in the People's Democratic Party as the main reason for his resignation. The Senate has taken a significant step towards promoting green mobility and local manufacturing with the adoption of Senator Orji Uzor Kalu Electric Vehicle Transition and Green Mobility Bill 2025. The bill, which passed its first reading, seeks to establish a comprehensive framework for Nigeria's transition to electric vehicles. Kalu stated that the proposed legislation is designed to position Nigeria as a regional leader in clean energy transportation while boosting industrial capacity, adding that it is about creating thousands of jobs, driving local innovation, and ensuring that Nigeria does not lag behind in the global shift towards electric mobility. The House of Representatives has resolved to suspend further consideration of bills originating from the Senate, citing persistent delay in the Red Chamber's concurrence to House-passed legislation. The lawmakers accused the Senate of deliberately stalling the legislative process by failing to act on over 140 bills passed by the House, including several sponsored by Speaker Abbas Tajuddin. The long-standing concern, which also plagued the Ninth Assembly, was reignited following an observation by Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda, who noted that while the House regularly considers Senate bills, the reverse has not been the case. The Westminster Foundation for Democracy, that is WFD, has raised the alarm over the increasing comprehensive electoral timetable by the National Independent Electoral Commission for 2025 and 2026, including 5 major elections and the nationwide resumption of continuous voters registration. The report says the country's democratic future is at risk as women, youth, and persons with disability are being priced out of the political space, noting that the justice itself is not only affordable to the highest bidders. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Odegboyega Oyetola, has inaugurated the 11-member governing body of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, that is NIMASA. The minister, while inaugurating the members in Abuja at the ministry's headquarters, charged them to prioritize national interests and work towards the development of the maritime sector. He emphasized that the board's decision to policies must be guided by national interest and directed towards the growth of the country and the advancement of its economy. The Supreme Court has adjourned indefinitely judgment in the legal battle on the Edo State governorship election petition. The Apex Court adjourned the judgment, signed dying after taking argument for and against the election that produced Senator Monday Okpebholo as the duly elected governor. Justice Garba Lawal, who presided over the hearing of the appeal filed by Asue, Igadolo and People's Democratic Party (PDP), said the date for delivery of the judgment would be communicated to the parties involved. You're watching the live broadcast of News Express. When News Express returns, Nigeria moved to overcome hurdles in regional trade integration. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Quickly, let's take you to the world of business, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has urged West African leaders to move beyond fragmentation and miss opportunities, working towards deeper regional integration, collaboration, and shared prosperity. Tinubu, while speaking at the just concluded inaugural West African Economic Summit, WAES in Abuja, emphasized that West Africa is one of the largest great frontiers of economic growth, but opportunity alone does not guarantee transformation. He further emphasized that there is need for West Africa to process its rare minerals locally rather than just exporting raw resources, advocating for regional manufacturing and value addition. The federal government has entered into a partnership with Santiamo Technologies to provide affordable credits to market women across 224 markets in 28 states. The managing director of Nigerian Customer Credit Corporation, Uzoma Nwagba, who was represented by his executive credit and portfolio management, Aisha Abdullahi, disclosed this while speaking with newsmen in Umuahia, said the initiative was aimed at expanding financial access to inform sector workers, particularly women, who are key players in local economies. He said about 1 million traders are being targeted in the initiative, which will begin in Ariaria International Market in Aba, Abia State. The federal government of Nigeria has launched a $40 million initiative, the Blueprint ICT Development Project, aimed at transforming the country's tertiary education system through digital infrastructure and innovation. The project was announced by the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, in Abuja and will be implemented across 10 federal universities nationwide. Alausa noted that the project reflects a renewed national focus on digital transformation, inclusive education, and human capital development. The Debt Management Office says the federal government of Nigeria bonds accounted for 79.85% of the total domestic debt stock, which stood at 74.89 trillion naira as of March 31, 2025. The figure was contained in the latest domestic debt report released recently by the management. In the management breakdown, federal government bonds amounted to 59.8 trillion naira, comprising 58.39 trillion in naira-denominated bonds and 1.4 trillion naira in US dollar-denominated bonds. Now let's quickly take you to the foreign scene where Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has signed a law suspending cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, amid growing tension between Tehran and the UN nuclear watchdog following Israeli and US attack on the Iranian nuclear facility last month. The announcement comes a week after Iran Parliament passed legislation to suspend cooperation with the IAEA, citing Israel's June 13 surprise attack on Iran and later strike by the U.S. on Iranian nuclear facility. According to the Parliament resolution, the agency inspectors will not be allowed to visit nuclear sites without approval from Iran's Supreme National Council, Security Council. United States President Donald Trump says Israel has agreed to the necessary condition for a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza war, and it is now up to Hamas to accept the deal. Trump disclosed this on his platform, Truth Social, adding that during the 2 months, the United States will work with all parties to end the conflict. Representatives from Qatar and Egypt, who have been heavily involved in peace efforts, will deliver this latest proposal to the Palestinian extremist organization Hamas. The G7 has reaffirmed at The Hague that the Islamic Republic of Iran could never have nuclear weapons. The group indicated this in a joint statement released by its foreign minister and the High Representative of the European Union on recent events in Iran and the Middle East. The G7 has Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom, the United States of America as members, while the European Union is on non-enumerated member. In sports, the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) has appointed 16 referees for the Nigerian National League Super 8 playoff tournament. The officials appointed are Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL) referee Solomon Aweng from Plateau, Bashir Adamu from Kaduna State, Abubakar Zubairu, Katsina, Anthony Eze, Federal Capital Territory, and Farouk Abdurrahman, Lagos State. Other referees from the Nigerian National League are Stanley Chibuike, Enugu State, Henry Osuman, Edo State, and Kalu Izichi, Abia State. Nigerian Games is still alive despite exiting in the knockout stage of the individual men's stable event at the 23rd African Fencing Championship in Lagos. Egypt won the tournament, which was hosted from June 25 to 29 at the Charter House, Lagos. Nigeria's fencing sensation Bro, Nigeria's highest-ranked fencer at both junior and senior levels, showcased his talent at the Continental Tournament, which concluded over the weekend in Lagos. He advanced from the group stage, competing against a field of seasoned athletes. Head coach of the Yellow Greens and high-performance manager of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, Steve Tikolo, is optimistic that the team is making significant progress in their bid to pick up the 2026 International Cricket Council T20 World Cup ticket. The men's senior national cricket team resumed camping in Lagos last week ahead of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers and the ILT 20 Cup. After winning the African Sub-Region C qualifiers last year, Tikolo's men will go up against 7 other countries in the qualifiers, which will be held in Zimbabwe from September 28 to October 4. Before then, they will also play the ILT 20 Cup from July 13 to 30 in Uganda. Here we end Global TV News Express, but let's look at the recap of our top stories. On Global TV News Express, President Bola Tinubu has called on Africans and people of African descent around the world to forge stronger bonds of unity, collaboration, and innovation to build a future rooted in honor, dignity, and progress for the black race. In business, President Bola Tinubu has urged West African leaders to move beyond fragmentation and miss opportunities, working towards deeper regional integration, collaborations, and shared prosperity. Now on the foreign scene, Iran President Masoud Pezeshkian has signed a law-spending cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, that is IAEA, amid growing tension between Tehran and the UN nuclear watchdog following Israel and US attack on Iranian nuclear facility last month. In sports, the Nigerian Football Federation